professional athletes, and particularly the golfers, it's like the commercial you see for Vegas. You know, what happens here stays here. You know, and they're not ones that they don't gab a lot. They really don't. Now, whether they did know it, Ben Crenshaw and Tom Kite live in town and are really, really good friends. Bean also was there. He's an active member of the regular tour. And, you know, we've semi-talked about that, but they...
What was the most memorable game you ever called, do you think?
You know what, I got a number of them, but the one most recent, and he's going to love this, was a BCS championship game that I did on radio. And it was the Vince Young come from behind Texas win over Southern Cal. I mean, it's something that shouldn't have happened. You know, Southern Cal, I still thought that Southern Cal was a better football team, but they got out-coached that night. And Pete did a couple of things that were not smart. They had a big third down situation, and he had Bush on the bench. And I thought, you got the best running back in America, and you don't have him on the field to play right now. And as a result, Texas stopped him. They go down, and Young scores the touchdown, and they win. You don't come from behind by 2 touchdowns in their backyard and win, but Texas did. That to me is, you know, and the other one that is way up there, but it does not the same magnitude. But it was Boise State's upset win over Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. We were doing that one as well. Anyway, that was really memorable.
I learned that I need to get more experience before I graduate from college.
This is the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Where they're supposed to. They don't always make themselves known. But we knew it would be a big story. But none of those among us that I know of, and certainly not this reporter, had any idea that the events that were to unfold here would turn out to be as important, as historic, as history-changing as they proved to be. What we now know as the American Civil Rights Movement began basically in the 1950s. But it did not begin to get traction, real traction, until the early 1960s and the emergence of Dr. Martin Luther King's leadership, among other things. Conscience of the nation's awakening and resulting in the civil rights legislation of the 1964-1965 period. The Civil Rights Voting Act, the overall Civil Rights Act, the open, fair housing legislation. That whole legislation can run its bloodline back to what happened to Mississippi on this campus and in this town in 1962. So let me close by reminding you again, the past is a foreign country. They do things differently there. And I do want to compliment Mississippians and the University of Mississippi